and gentlemen, sometimes in life you will hear a voice that says, "You are not enough." It whispers in your ears when you wake up tired, when you make a mistake, when someone walks away, or when the world seems too big. But today I want you to promise yourself one thing. You will never let that voice become louder than your own. Confidence is not something we are born with. It is something we build, brick by brick, habit by habit, day by day. Let me share with you 5 powerful habits that can lift your confidence and change your life. My name is Muniba and I am a motivational speaker. If you like this content, then you can appreciate me by like, subscribe, and comments. So, now move on the topic. There is a voice inside you that no one else hears. It talks to you from the moment you wake up to the moment you close your eyes. It tells you how you look, how you sound, how much you're worth. And the truth is, that voice shapes how you feel about yourself more than anything else in the world. But what if that voice is always critical? What if it only points out your flaws? What if it keeps reminding you of your past, your mistakes, your failures? That's when your confidence begins to break, not because you're weak, but because no one can grow under constant judgment. We often speak to ourselves in a way we would never speak to a friend. We call ourselves stupid when we forget something. We say we're not good enough when we fail. We look in the mirror and pick apart every little thing. And then we wonder why we feel small, invisible, or unworthy. But imagine for a moment if you treated yourself with kindness. Imagine waking up and saying, "I may not be perfect, but I'm doing my best." Imagine looking in the mirror and instead of finding faults, you said, "This is me and I'm enough." Imagine failing and instead of calling yourself a loser, you whispered, "It's okay. I'll try again." Speaking kindly to yourself doesn't mean you ignore your mistakes. It means you choose to grow from them instead of punish yourself for them. It means recognizing that you are human, flawed, learning, evolving, and that's not something to be ashamed of. That's something to be proud of. Your words have power. They shape your beliefs. And your beliefs shape your actions. If you keep telling yourself, "I can't," you won't. If you keep saying, "I'm not worthy," you'll stop showing up for your own life. But when you change the way you talk to yourself, everything begins to change. Your posture, your energy, your courage. Start small. When you catch yourself thinking something negative, pause and ask, "Would I say this to someone I love?" If not, don't say it to yourself. Replace it with something gentle, honest, and kind. Instead of "I failed again," try "I am still learning." Instead of "I hate how I look," try "I am grateful for a body that carries me through life." Your mind listens, and the more kindness it hears, the safer and stronger it feels. Spend every moment of your life with yourself. Don't be your own enemy. Be your comfort. Be your strength. Be the voice that lifts you, not the one that tears you down. Because when you start speaking to yourself with love, confidence no longer feels like a mountain to climb. It feels like coming home. There are days when getting out of bed feels like lifting a mountain. Days when the heart is heavy, the mind is tired, and the soul feels like it's running on empty. On those days, Everything inside you says, stay hidden, stay quiet, don't try, don't move. And that's exactly when you need to show up the most. Showing up doesn't mean you have to be at your best. It doesn't mean you have to smile when you are hurting or pretend to be strong when you feel broken. It simply means you take a step, you try, you choose not to give up on yourself, even when everything feels like it's falling apart. There is strength in showing up when you don't feel ready. There is courage in facing the world when you're full of fear. Every time you push through the doubt, the pain, the exhaustion, even just a little, you are building a quiet kind of confidence. A confidence that comes from knowing, yes, this is hard, but I showed up anyway. People often wait for the perfect moment to act. They wait until they feel confident, prepared, or fearless. But the truth is, confidence doesn't come before action. It comes after. You don't become brave by avoiding fear. You become brave by walking through it. And that walk begins when you decide to show up, even with shaking hands and a trembling voice. You may fail, you may fall, but even in failure, there is power. Because failure means you tried. And trying, especially when it's hard, is a victory on its own. It is proof that your spirit is stronger than your circumstances. When life gets heavy, it's okay to rest. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel lost. But don't disappear. Don't give up on your journey. You don't have to move mountains. Just take one step. Just keep showing up for your dreams, for your healing, for your future. Even when your voice shakes, even when your legs tremble, stand. Even when your heart aches, try. Because every time you show up when it's hard, you are proving something powerful to yourself. That you are not your fear, not your doubt, not your weakness. You are your choice to keep going. And that choice is everything. Every day is a chance to grow. A chance to stretch your mind, to feed your soul, to become just a little better than you were yesterday. Learning something new doesn't mean you need to sit in a classroom or read thick books. It means you open your heart and mind to the lessons around you. Lessons from people, from mistakes, from silence, from experience. The moment we stop learning, we stop living fully. Life becomes a routine, a loop, a quiet frustration that we can't quite explain. But the moment you decide to learn something new every day, life becomes exciting again. Even the smallest piece of knowledge, a new word, a different idea, a deeper understanding, can spark a light inside you that changes the way you see the world. Learning makes you feel alive. It reminds you that you're capable, that you're growing, that you're not stuck. You might notice the change right away, but over time, those small daily lessons add up. They build your confidence, shape your thinking, and open doors you never knew existed. It doesn't matter what you learn. What matters is your willingness to stay curious. Ask questions. Listen to people who think differently. Read something you wouldn't normally read. Watch a video that teaches you a new skill. Try to understand someone's point of view without trying to prove them wrong. These are all ways of learning, and they make you wiser, kinder, and stronger. Some days, the lesson will be simple. You might learn how to cook something new, how to fix something broken, or how to say a kind word in a different language. Other days, the lesson will come from pain. You'll learn how to let go, how to forgive, how to be patient with yourself. These lessons are hard, but they are just as important because they shape your inner world. Learning something new also keeps you humble. It reminds you that no matter how much you know, there's always more to discover. And in that humility, there is power. Because the person who is always learning is the person who is always growing. You don't need to compare your journey to anyone else's. You don't need to learn faster or smarter. You just need to keep moving forward, one small step a day. One new thought. One new experience. Over time, these little things create big change. So stay curious, be open, look for the lesson in every moment, not because you have to be the best, but because you want to be better than who you were yesterday. That's what real confidence is, knowing that you are not finished, that your story is still being written, and that every day is a new page waiting for your courage to fill it. There are people in this world who carry light within them. You feel it when they speak, when they listen, when they simply sit beside you. Their presence feels safe. Their words feel warm. Their energy lifts you, even on the days when you feel like you have nothing left to give. These are the people who remind you of who you are when you forget. These are the people who help you rise. But there are also people who carry darkness, not always because they are bad, but because they are hurt, bitter, or lost in their own pain. And sometimes they pour that pain onto others. They make you feel small, not enough, invisible. They criticize more than they encourage. They doubt more than they believe. And if you're not careful, their voice can become louder than your own. That's why it is so important to surround yourself with light. Choose to be around those who see the good in you, those who celebrate your small victories, those who stay when life is hard, not just when it's easy, the people who don't laugh at your dreams, but remind you that your dreams are valid, that your voice matters, and that you are worthy, always. Energy is powerful. It's not just something we feel, it's something we absorb. If you spend your time with people who constantly doubt, complain, or judge, their energy will start to feel like your own. But when you're surrounded by light, by kindness, hope, love, and truth, you start to reflect that light too. You begin to speak with more faith. You begin to walk with more strength. You begin to believe again. And this doesn't only mean surrounding yourself with others, it also means protecting your space. Be mindful of the words you allow into your world through music, conversations, social media, and even your own thoughts. Ask yourself, is this lifting me or draining me? Is this helping me grow or pulling me down? You are allowed to walk away from anything that dims your light. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to choose peace. Sometimes the hardest part is letting go of people we once loved, people we grew up with, worked with, or gave our heart to. But the truth is, if someone constantly makes you feel less, if they ignore your boundaries or make you question your worth, that is not love. Love does not break you, it builds you. And you deserve to be built, not broken. Choose to be with those who bring light into your life. And just as importantly, be that light for someone else. The world needs more people who lift others, who heal with their words, and who give hope without asking for anything in return. Because when you surround yourself with light, you don't just find your way, you become the light for others too. In a world that keeps chasing big success, we often forget the beauty of small victories. We wait for something grand before we allow ourselves to feel proud. An award, a big achievement, a life-changing moment. But confidence isn't just built in the big wins. It is built quietly, gently, in the small steps that no one else sees. When you get out of bed on a difficult day, that's a win. When you speak up, even if your voice shakes, that's a win. When you say no to something that hurts you or yes to something that heals you, that's a win. Small wins are not small. They are signs that you are moving forward, even if the road is slow. They are reminders that you are trying, that you are showing up for yourself, and that you are not giving up. But too often we ignore them. We say it's not a big deal, or anyone could have done that, or it's not enough. We compare ourselves to others who seem to be moving faster, doing more, shining brighter. And in doing that, we forget how far we've come. We forget that growth is not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's invisible to the world, but deeply felt in the soul. Celebrating small wins doesn't mean you think you've reached the final destination. It means you're honoring the journey. It means you're giving yourself permission to feel proud of your effort, not just your outcome. Because the truth is, confidence grows when we acknowledge our progress, no matter how small it seems. You are not the same person you were yesterday. Maybe you're a little more patient, a little more hopeful, a little more brave. That matters. That deserves to be noticed. Even healing happens in small wins. The first time you smiled again after heartbreak. The first time you trusted again after being hurt. The first time you believed in yourself after years of doubt. These are not small moments. These are moments of courage. These are moments of transformation. So clap for yourself. Say, I'm proud of me, without waiting for anyone else to say it first. Keep a journal of your wins. Write them down. Read them when you feel low. Let them remind you that you are moving, you are growing, and you are doing better than you think. The more you celebrate your steps, the more steps you take. Not because everything is easy, but because you finally understand that every little effort matters. And when you start noticing the small wins, life doesn't feel like a race. It feels like a journey worth walking. Confidence doesn't need a stage. Sometimes it just needs a quiet moment, a soft smile, and the courage to say, I did that. And I'm proud.